welcome back to the Basement Gun Shop. So there are some new developments in DC, some new scumbaggery flying around, and I want to take a little time just to clarify what exactly is going on. I'm making reference to a new bill that was introduced into the Judiciary Committee in the House of Representatives, and that is H.R. 5344. Otherwise known as the, bear with me one second, there we go, the Responsible Body Armor Possession Act. Interesting. So this bill was introduced by Representative Michael Honda and co-sponsored by Representative Kelly Robin, Alcee, A-L-C-E-E, Hastings, and Bill Pascrell, P-A-S-C-R-E-L-L, Jr. Let's see, Honda, Democrat, California, Robin, Democrat, Illinois, Hastings, Democrat, Florida, Pascrell Jr., Democrat, New Jersey. Guess what? This is, by definition, a ban on the purchase, ownership, or possession of enhanced body armor by civilians. That's you and me. The exceptions to the bill are the United States or any department or agency of the United States. Interesting. A state or department, agency, or political subdivision of a state, or enhanced body armor that was lawfully possessed by any person at any time before the date that this would be signed into law by the chief scumbag in charge, chief traitor in charge in the White House. So, basically, one rule for me, another rule for thee. This bill, if passed through the House, through the Senate, and signed into law, would make it illegal for any individual to purchase or possess enhanced body armor. So I looked through the bill, and they do actually define enhanced body armor. And they define enhanced body armor as armor including a helmet or shield, the ballistic resistance of which meets or exceeds the ballistic performance of Type 3 armor determined using National Institute of Justice standards. So, I then head off to the National Institute of Justice website and get their body armor standards, and let's do a little synopsis right here in case you're not familiar with all this government code and crap. And by the way, the NIJ's body armor standards is something on the order of an 84-page PDF. So I'll just encapsulate it, abbreviate it for you right now. We have Type 2A armor. That is designed to defeat a 9mm and a 40 Smith & Wesson. And they do list the bullet weights and the velocities they're traveling at, but for all intents and purposes, we're just going to say 9mm and 40 Smith & Wesson. I'm not going to go into the feet per second and the kinetic energy like they did in the document. That's Type 2A. Type 2 armor is designed to defeat the 9mm and 357 Magnum. Okay. And then you have Type 3A, which is designed to defeat the 357 SIG and the 44 Magnum. I don't own a 357 SIG, so I don't have any rounds laying around to, use as a demo. And then you have Type 3 rifle armor. And this is where this bill comes into play by defining enhanced body armor as anything that meets or exceeds the ballistic performance of Type 3. Type 3 is designed to defeat 7.62 by 51 or 308 Winchester, which is, let's set these off to the side here for a second, which is this big boy right here. That's your 7.62 by 51 NATO or 308 Winchester. and anything below that, which would also include the 5.56 or the 7.62 by 39. And obviously I got some examples back here on the bench. I got an AR-15 for the 5.56. We've got an AR-10 back here, which shoots 308, or the 7.62 by 51, and an AK-47 with a Duracode issue, which fires a 7.62 by 39. So, basically, what it's saying is, this bill would make it illegal for you, a private citizen, to own any body armor that defeats these 3 rifle rounds. Which begs the question, why? Why? There are more than likely some commerce lawsuits that could be brought if this bill were passed into if this bill were passed into law, because that would restrict comments. There are companies such as Infidel Body Armor, AR-500 Body Armor, that this bill would basically put them out of business. So, you know, the economy's been in a downturn for a long time, so let's pass a bill that puts more people out of work and shuts down more businesses. Okay, that's just friggin' awesome. There really are no, and I did look, there really are no statistics as far as crimes being committed where body armor is being worn by the perpetrator. There are no statistics available. Nothing that I could feel comfortable with presenting here. If you gave me something from the CDC or the FBI or something to that effect, that would be a little more reliable, but I don't really have any figures for that. If anyone out there can find those figures, please post them in the comments. I also have 2 types of body armor right here. This is a Type 2 vest worn by most law enforcement. This is designed to defeat everything up to and including this 357 Magnum round. The one I'm wearing is AR-500 Type 3 rifle, which will defeat these 3 rifle rounds and anything smaller, quite frankly. 243 Winchester, 5.56, 7mm Remington Magnums, 7mm short Magnums, you know, all those things. 338 Lapua, maybe. 50 BMG, no. There is also a Type 4 armor, and Type 4 is armor-piercing rifle, which of course would also be banned for civilian possession. Type 4 rifle is listed, they don't specifically list the caliber or a specific round like they do with the Type 3. By Type 3 rifle, they specifically list the 7.62 NATO. But with the Type 4 armor-piercing armor, they list 30 caliber armor-piercing, U.S. military designation M2AP, 166 grain at 2,880 feet per second, plus or minus 30 feet per second. So that's the spec on Type 4 armor-piercing rifle armor. So, they failed to get the guns, so they're going to go after armor instead. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where to begin with this. Responsible Body Armor Possession Act. I'm a responsible American citizen. I go to work, I pay my taxes, I take care of my family, I take care of my house, I pay my bills, I have my pursuits and my hobbies. How does that make me irresponsible? Who designates who's responsible enough to own body armor? And then, of course, this act would also make it that only FBI, CIA, DHS, Environment, EPA, FDA, and all these people who already have the protection of the government behind them, which is all these government agencies, they're the only ones that can own stuff like this. You know, many years ago, I watched the shootout in California, the two guys with the bank robbery that were head to toe Kevlar'd up. And they weren't wearing rifle plates. They were wearing soft armor. I never really heard, or I don't remember what type of armor they were wearing. But for the most part, the police agencies out there only had 9mm handguns, and the stuff was bouncing off. Well, that's what this stuff is designed to do. So you have criminals who were already illegally in possession of firearms, were already illegally modifying their illegally possessed firearms, and they were already illegally entering a bank. Where does one more charge on banning this stuff and getting it completely out of the civilian market, where is that going to stop somebody from doing this? These are criminals. The only ones laws like this penalize are the law-abiding American citizen. And I'm sure that 99.999% of you watching this already understand that. Maybe I can reach out one more person out there who just sees this by chance. There are a bunch of videos already out there on YouTube, and I just thought I would add my voice to the rest of them. So this bill, H.R. 5344, is in the Committee for Judiciary in the House of Representatives. Get a hold of your representatives in Congress and tell them to kill this bill. Oppose it vehemently. Protect your rights to protect yourself and your family. Because if somebody comes through my door and I can have time to throw this on and engage that scumbag, I am the steel wall between me and my family, between my girlfriend and her two sons. And they would, just with the stroke of a pen, take away my ability to protect myself as best I can. Really? Are these the kind of scumbags you want representing you and representing your interests in Washington, D.C.? Well, from the People's Republic of New Jersey and the People's Republic of California, it doesn't surprise me that this bill was introduced by someone from California, and it doesn't surprise me that they were co-sponsored by someone from New Jersey. Illinois and Florida, that kind of surprises me a little bit. But, you know, take it for what it's worth. It also doesn't surprise me that the person who introduced it and the three co-sponsors are Democrats. Let's tote that party line and let's disarm the American citizen and make them nothing more than helpless sheep. And that is the Democratic Party's attitude. And as I've said before, they're no longer Democrats, they're just out and out leftists. So that's my take on H.R. 5344. If you have any comments or questions, please, by all means, I encourage you, as always, leave them below in the questions or comments. Like the channel, subscribe, even better, and until next time, stay safe and keep shooting.